When I look at Lord of the Rings Online, I think of a game that I have been playing since it came out. That's 16, 17 years at this point. That is a long time to continue playing a game. I didn't do that with, you know, EverQuest. I didn't do that with EverQuest 2. There are only a couple of games that I've played over and over and over throughout the years. And when it comes to MMOs, it's really only this game and Star Wars: The Republic. I've done a lot of EverQuest 1, but really Lord of the Rings Online is the one that takes the cake for me. And when people ask me what's my favorite MMO, I always answered Lord of the Rings Online, even though it's technically not an MMO anymore, and it hasn't been for a very long time. It's ever since it went free to play, it's basically become a single player RPG with a multiplayer component. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's absolutely an amazing game, and you should play it in 2023. There is a lot to do, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today is, the width and breadth of everything that's available to you in Lord of the Rings Online and why that makes it worth playing. Even if it's not your main jam, even if this is just something you duck into like once a week like I do, it's a great game to keep installed on the PC and always have it ready to play because there's a lot going on. And then if you go whole hog, which I've done multiple times over the years. There's always about once every 12 to 18 months, I will sub up for 3 months as a VIP and I will do a deep dive and clear a bunch of stuff I've never seen before. And then around that, I play, alts and do character creation and the game guides and stuff with my brother and friends from time to time. It's just been one of those games that I've stuck with over and over and over the years, and I think it's absolutely worth your time. So without further ado, we're going to talk about all the things that I think are great about this game, why you should play it. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Without further ado, here we go. So, all anyone has to do to understand just how big Lord of the Rings Online is to open up the map and take a look at this. Because there is a ton, and I mean a ton, of stuff to do in this game. You can go almost anywhere on this map. Now, there are some limitations, like they don't have content for Harad or Canned Rune or kind of Linden over there or the Fordwaith. But if you look here at all this other stuff, we've got Mordor, Gondor, Rohan, Ravanian, we've got the Misty Mountains, we've got Moria, we've got Eriador, and all these places. And when you start breaking things down and going in even deeper, this is where the fun really begins. So I'm going to click on Eriador as an example. Well, now I'm looking at a map of everything west of the Misty Mountains and the Gates of Moria, right? So we've got all of these areas, all of which are regions and or zones that you can go into that have lots of quests to do within them. You've got Isengard, of course, over here with Nan Cwnir. You've got Dunland. You've got the Inedwaith. You've got Oregionon and the Gates of Moria, and then all of everything under Moria. You've got the Trollshaws and Rivendell, the Misty Mountains themselves. You can go into the Misty Mountains and go into Goblin Town. There's Angmar and Carn Dûm, the North Downs, Lonelands, Cardolan, Breeland, Evendim, Forakel, the Yondershire, the Shire itself, Ered Luin. The thing I always tell people is anything you've ever read in the Lord of the Rings books or The Hobbit, if you've read about something in those games, or those games, in those books, you can come across it, find it, explore it, see it, touch it, etc. in the Lord of the Rings Online. This is a massively built game. It's been being built up for all these years now, 16, 17 years. And they've done a great job at not only providing you with all of the areas you can go and explore, but also just, I've talked often when I'm streaming, I talk about how, the assets might be a little dated, the art style might be a little dated and everything else, the engine and all that stuff, but they've still managed to do a really good job of representing Middle-earth in a visual format in a way that is absolutely beautiful, even though, yes, it does look a little dated by modern standards. This is not a bleeding edge game. It's definitely showing its age in a few spots. But that doesn't mean it's not worth playing. It's still a beautiful game to look at. And we can go take a look at some sceneries. I would also urge you, go look at my Yondershire videos. That's some of the most recent content they've made as of this recording is Yondershire, which I think was released last year. It's not quite a starting area, but it's a level 20 to level 30 area in the Shire. And it's absolutely breathtaking in terms of what it looks like. And that's one of those things where I think that if you look at this and immediately just go, oh, it's an old game, I don't want to play it, you're truly missing out because there's a lot to see in terms of places to go. And it's not just about Eriador, going back out, there's Rohan and all the places within Rohan. There's Gondor, all the places within Gondor. There is and Orvan, looking at all the places in here, North Mirkwood, South Mirkwood, so on and so forth. Then you get into, Mordor itself and all the things that are here. Like, there's just so many places and things to do and places to explore that you're never going to run out of things to do. Even if you play this game, like, every day, it's going to take you, I would argue, a year or two to just clear the content, just to go do the stuff because there's just so much to do. Maybe longer than that. I don't know. Here's the funny thing about the way I play the game, because I play it very, kind of casually, on and off, with about 3 months where I'll go all in every single year, but the rest of the time once or twice a week. I've been playing this game since launch. I still don't have a max level character. My highest level character is in Osgiliath outside of Gondor. I think he's like level 102 or 103, and I think you can go up to like level 140 in this game. I've just got tons of alts because there's lots of fun stuff to do across all level ranges in this game, and so I'm constantly coming back and finding things to keep me excited and keep me occupied. I think one of the other important things to do is not just in terms of size of the game and scope and all these places you can go, but it's the amount of activities that you could do to play. So it's not just about adventuring. There's also the crafting, which is kind of standard for most RPGs and MMOs these days. But I want to show you guys like a little bit of the variety. So first and foremost, of course, you have all of your main quests, which are going to be called the epic quests, which are the book quests that are quite frankly some of the best written quests I've ever seen in a game ever. Period. After, over all these years of gaming, there are very few titles that can compete with Lord of the Rings Online when it comes to quality of writing and amount of text that you're getting. This is definitely not a game for people who don't like to read. If you don't like to read, you're going to have a hard time in this game because you're going to get walls of text with everything, especially when it comes to the book quest. But those of us who are lovers of Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings books, you're going to get a lot of enjoyment out of the quests in this game because there's just so much to do. So there's the book quests, which are the like main quests that carry you through. There's also the zone quests that you can come across. So each region, as they're called, has quests within the region, usually centered around quest hubs in the early stages of the game. But then as you get into the later parts of like Rohan and into Gondor, you can see the development shift in the company, where they went from having lots of quest hubs like games used to be designed to streamlining it more to where the zones or the regions now have sort of like one quest line that takes you from point A to point B, and you will do a lot of tasks along the way, let's say 20, 30 quests from this side of the zone to that side of the zone, but rather than going quest hub to quest hub to quest hub, you're just going in a linear fashion through the zone, and it makes for very entertaining storytelling because you get a new story with each region, and it's always going to culminate in some good gear and some experience and faction and all the things you want out of exploring. Plus, there's all things, all sorts of things to harvest along the way. So they've streamlined that a lot. But there's also the Ballad of Bingo Boffin questline, which basically takes you all around the world and allows you to explore the locations of Lord of the Rings in a different way because you're experiencing it alongside this other adventurous hobbit, and it's definitely a tourist type quest line, but it's massive. I mean, it is a massive quest chain that starts at level 1 and carries you, I think, all the way to level 70 if I'm not mistaken. It's a huge quest line, and it's a great way to additionally explore the zones. Beyond that, of course, are raids if you want to participate in raids, but there's also instances, and there's a variety of types of instances at your disposal. You've got epic battles, which are one type of instance. You've got the regular old instances that used to be called dungeons, and now they're in here as instances like Fornost or the Great Barrow, and those used to be big places that you would go into for a few hours, and now they're broken up into multiple sessions. So like Fornost has 4 different instances now, and you kind of got to go through them in order. Same thing with the Great Barrow. Then there's the Road to Erebor quest chain, which has different types of instances within it. Some of them you can do with like 3-man teams, other ones you need 6, and then a couple of them you need 12 people to complete. Then there are the non-scaling instances, the seasonal instances, and most importantly, the skirmishes, of which I don't have a lot on this character because I'm not on a high level toon. You unlock skirmishes at level 20, and as you get higher in level, you unlock more and more and more and more and more of those, and you can go run those at any time by yourself or with friends, and you get experience points and coins and these faction items that you can use to barter for all sorts of gear and stuff. There are lots and lots of things to do in this game. Plus, if you go to like Moria and other places, there are still the original like go to a dungeon with 6 people and have fun. And it's not it's not something that you can get to through the instance finder. So there's just lots and lots of stuff to do. So you're looking at a 16-plus-year-old game where there's just tons of places to go, tons of places to see, and tons of things to do, and lots of way to progress your character. Commercial time, everyone. Huge shout out to the Guild Champions, who are our highest tiered membership here on YouTube. We've got Bubbleonia, Ancient Entity, Crazy's Relative, Remedy. Thanks so much for your support here on the channel. And of course, to all of our members who help keep me full time here on YouTube. Thanks so much for your support, for being here, for checking in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, super chat any live streams or premieres you see, super thanks any video uploads you see. Don't forget YouTube Shorts in that category as well. And hopefully, we'll see you in the next live stream. Don't forget the Discord. Links are down below. Let's get back to the video. On top of everything else in the game, there's also housing. So like here's my personal little hobbit hole that I've got here in this part of the Shire. And as you go on throughout the game, you can not only have a personal home, you could have also a guild hall. And you can, actually, let's see if we can go to our guild hall real quick. There are 2 different types. Actually, while I'm here, I probably need to pay my maintenance upkeep. Go ahead and pay that while we're here. And then we'll go over to our guild hall, which is which one? Kinship members, kinship house. Not only you have a personal, you can also have a guild hall, and there's also premium housing, which is something I've never personally experienced. I've gotten to go explore some of the personal housing for the premium stuff, and that's another tier of housing that is for people who really want to get into the game because it costs. I mean, it essentially, you're either looking at mindless hours of grinding, or you're going to have to spend some real life cash to get like the premium housing writs and the mithril coins needed to unlock all that stuff off of the LOTRO store. And that's for people who really want to go whole hog. And the only thing that I don't like about the premium houses is they don't transfer across servers. So if you're playing on a server and they decide, this is an older game now, and they have occasionally closed servers down to combine the different servers to keep the population as well as possible. It's been a long time since they've done that for anything other than the legendary servers. So you probably don't have to worry about it on one of the legacy servers, but premium housing doesn't go with the server transfer, which is unfortunate. So I've never worried about it, but there's tons of housing options available. Here's our kin hall here in the Shire. I'm gonna go ahead and pay the upkeep while I'm here. Go in here and pay this off. But the housing is a whole other thing that you can get into in this game. So if you like that kind of stuff, if you open up the map here, like this is one of the old style maps, by the way. These are all types of houses that you can have, right? All these places, and then there's small houses, dual houses, and then the premium houses in here, the guild halls in this part of the world. There's tons of stuff to see and do. But let's go inside real quick. I've taken tours in here before for the kin housing videos that we've done for the game guides. But we'll step in during this video because I think it's cool to always jump into the kin hall and take a look at the painting. Especially one of the cool things about the Bingo Boffin quest is you get these maps along the way. I think it's really cool. Now, of course, we're not active on this particular server right now. This is where my brother and I come and play with friends every once in a while. So this has mostly been my brother and I working on this over the years with a couple, usually anywhere from 5 to 6 people. We've had as many as like 8 or 12 have joined us over the years. But I will always play this game until it sunsets. It's just something that for me is a really good game, and even if I don't main it, even if it's just something I jump into once a week, and maybe even if it gets to the point where it gets into maintenance mode and I only jump in once a month, I'm okay with that. I've gotten 15 plus years. That's a long time, everybody. 15 plus years of enjoyment out of this game. That music was a little obnoxiously loud. I apologize for that. There's some issues with the levels sometimes with the music and the housing. It's fun times. So one of the coolest parts about this game, of course, is the fact that it's free to play. So for those of you who don't know, if you're wanting to make that investment to play at VIP or to pick up expansions or anything like that, you don't need to worry about it. The base game is free to play from level 1 to level 90, I believe, up to Helm's Deep, which is so much content. I mean, that was the fourth or fifth expansion, so you get a lot of content for free. You get all of the races for free, and you get almost all of the classes. I think there's, as of this recording, I think the Brawler is still a premium class that you need to spend LOTRO points on because it is relatively new to the game. But there's no gold cap anymore. I mean, really the only limitation I could think of with the free-to-play that I think would, it's not even an impact your gameplay type of thing, it's a convenience factor, is you can't use fast travel if you are a free-to-play character who has never played on a subscription before. So if I've played this character on a subscription, and then I let the subscription lapse and I play it free to play, I will still have access to fast travel on this character. However, I've started a character recently doing the game guides for the rogue that I've been doing, the burglar, and because I'd never played that character on a subscription, I don't have access to that fast travel system on him. I can, for the most part anyway, there are some things I can fast travel to, but as an example, when I went to the Yondershire, you had to be level 20 or have a membership to be able to use the fast travel. So since I didn't have the membership, I just leveled up until I was 20, and then I was able to use the fast travel stuff. Hang on a second. Let's make the distinction here. The fast travel stuff within that region. But the distinction needs to be made between the instant fast travel and just the mount system, the fast travel system. So I can use on a free to play account, you can take a horse from Rivendell to somewhere, right? Or from Bree to somewhere. And you can ride that route regardless if you're free to play or not. But what you can't do is you can't use the instantaneous travel between point A to point B. But you can still do the automated stuff on free to play. I just want to make sure that there's no confusion in the way I word things, that people understand that. But all things considered, you pretty much have access to everything in the game for, up to level 90 for nothing. It's free. And, the limitation of, I might need to take 5 minutes to ride somewhere. Go take a bio, stand up from your computer, do some jumping jacks, do some push-ups, do something, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal if you just want to go in and explore this game and see everything there is to see up to level 90 on a free account, and then decide if you want to make the decision to go VIP, or if you want to buy quest packs and expansion packs and things of that nature, because there's a ton here to explore. Middle Earth is a big place, and they've done a great job at making you feel like a part of it. So for my money's worth, I think, yes, Lord of the Rings Online is absolutely worth playing in 2023. You absolutely should be playing this game if you love all things Tolkien. And if you are playing and you like it, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. You can drop those down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, everybody, and we will see you in the next episode, live stream, or hopefully over in the Discord as well. Until then, stay safe. Happy gaming.